Hello, this is the Mr. Saves podcast show.
Hi everyone, you're welcome to this show. And right here in the studio with me is Mr. Save One of Nigeria, Mr. Save One of Africa, Mr. Save One of the whole world. There's this special person who does things for just doing to with the passion. There's so much passion and love for humanity. I know God loves him, so that's why he's putting up all the efforts to make sure that everyone around him is connected to God and is happy. So if I call him one, Mr. Save One, that doesn't mean that he's taking the place of God. So mind you, yeah. Yes, and right here beside me is another wonderful person who loves to serve humanity with all passion. I may call him the same names, but I would want him to introduce himself. So, sir, please, let's have you.
Thank you very much for that generous introduction. My name is Ferdinand, and I love to coach and mentor. This is what I do and what I can give my life freely to, even without demand for any sort of compensation. And what do I do professionally? I'm a realtor and business facilitator. And thank you very much for having me here.
Oh, thank you so much. And you're welcome once again to this podcast show. For you watching out there, this is Mr. Safe Podcast Show, and you're welcome once again. And today we have a very interesting topic, and we would want you to sit tight and listen, watch carefully. This is all about who we are, all about what humanity means, and the topic is very interesting. It is gratitude. The topic, once again, is gratitude. And I will be asking Mr. Ferdinand about what gratitude means to him.
Interesting. If you asked me this question some weeks back, my answer would have been different. But I won't delve into that. I would like to talk about what my answer is right now. I have come to a place of conviction where I understand that there are no random acts of kindness. You know how we think that, oh, somebody just came out of the blues and then he did this for me, or a miracle happened and all of that. I've come to realize that there are no random acts of kindness. Everything that you receive, every blessing, every favor, every form of kindness that you receive is an answered prayer. And this prayer that is being answered is answered by infinite intelligence. It is God's response. And God doesn't come down to actually give anything to man. When you pray,
I want to quickly chip in this. What about someone who has recorded a whole lot of hard times, losing their loved ones, going through loss of jobs, and a whole lot of stressful experiences that possibly they don't feel happy, they're feeling disconnected. Would this kind of a person still feel grateful or would want to express their gratitude?
wow. This is really interesting. And if you allow me to go on this trail like this, I might turn out to be responding to you like a rap artist and just dropping punchlines, right?
Okay.
But let's not attempt to be rap artists. Let's talk like realistic people. We all go through pain. We all face situations and circumstances in life that make us feel like God doesn't even exist, right? Now, let me take you to a place. You remember where I started and said, if you asked me this question a few weeks back, my response would have been different from what it is right now.
I was trying to know that particular part.
Exactly.
If you asked 2 weeks ago,
Yes.
your definition would be different. I actually wanted to ask, tell us what that 2 weeks ago is, because I really want to know what happened and why you made that statement.
Okay, thank you. Let me hit this. Connecting with your situation, people, maybe you must have heard stories from people or somebody told you this, and connecting what you just asked, I will merge both together.
All right.
Okay. So my life have been a roller coaster of several challenges, right?
Okay.
And most times when we go through things, we come to a point where we make certain decisions based on the information that we have on ground.
Yes.
But my personal knowledge now have made me understood that your information are facts, but they are not truths. Do you
Okay.
understand?
I get
So
you.
you could have facts, but those facts are not truth. So let me take you back to where I was. I've experienced a lot of challenges, and I am still going through some of them, right? And I am telling you that my response previously would have been different from now because I have changed. It depends on your type of conviction and the information that you receive that inform what you have come to believe right now. So for the person that might be going through some sort of challenges and feels like he or she does not have any reason to be grateful, right? I 100% validate their pain. I have been one person that do not ever get to that point where I will tell anybody, see, don't worry. Oh, I understand your pain. I don't understand anybody's pain because nobody understands anybody's pain. You can't understand somebody's pain to the extent or to the gravity to which they do feel the pain, right? Now, I do not invalidate anybody's pain, no matter what you're going through, big, small, no matter what it is, right? But we are here to invite you to a place where you understand that no matter your level of pain, no matter what you go through in life, so long as you still have few seconds ahead of you, there is a reason for you to live those few seconds with grace.
Okay.
Live them purposefully and live them in such a way that you leave an impact. And one of the ways for you to do that, to live gracefully and for you to live and leave an impact, is for you to be grateful for the now that you have.
Okay, let me come in. Okay, for me, I will start by defining what gratitude is. I believe gratitude to the normal man, it's coming back to just say thank you, or telling his fellow man thank you, or whatsoever he believes or she believes, probably a deity or so, and coming to say thank you for what you've done at that particular time. One, I'm a Christian, and so I will always, whatever I do, I always want to go back to the Word of God, that always say, let's always give thanks at all times. For God to tell you, give thanks at all times. And there's this popular song that says, count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Sometimes we think the blessings of God is just that good thing that makes you smile. And sometimes we think the blessings of God, or it's only when you smile, only when you are happy, that 1 million naira you got and all that. I tell people that gratitude goes beyond what you see physically. We're in a world that is controlled by the spiritual. And so sometimes you will need to go back, and those little things you think, they don't matter. You're able to sleep and you wake up and you see the day and say, Father, I thank you for today. There are people who slept last night. You go on social media, you go on the news, and you hear stories like, he slept and didn't wake up. They slumped. Sometimes I'm so emotional when I see people around me that don't have what I have. I go deep to say, Lord, that is what gratitude is. You go back to think, I was like, Lord, I'm not this person, but I think this person with his or her own situation thanks you, appreciates what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? I have I'm complete. I would say I'm complete. There are people without legs, and they are out there hustling, doing all things to still, thank this God. There's a blind man out there, and I'll come back and say, because I was expecting to achieve a particular thing this year, and I couldn't achieve it. And the next thing is, I'm not grateful to God. The air you breathe,
Mm-hmm.
the sun you see, the bed you lay and all that.
Can I tell you something, sir?
Okay?
There are things that inform our behavior, and psychology have not been able to dive into this area of our lives where we probe our convictions and our beliefs. And I would like to mention something here, very importantly. Who do you listen to? Who do you listen to is a very important question. And I want everybody to take this to heart. Who do you listen to? Who you listen to informs your convictions, the thoughts that runs through your mind, and the actions that you exhibit out there. So recently, I have been this person that was, I've mentioned before, I was just on a roller coaster, just moving and believing that by my grit, my hard work, oh, you're a smart guy, you've got it all figured out, you're going to do this. And then recently, I was sitting under the ministration of this dear man of God. And he mentioned something. He said, there is somebody sitting here. And I'm not saying this like all this prophetic stuff you hear about, like people jumping and shouting and all of that. And he said, there is somebody seated here. You might think you believe God the way you think you should. And there is something you're going through and you think God is not interested in it. He said, but I'm here to tell you that God is interested in it. That word alone made me hold that man of God in high esteem because he spoke directly to me. Because my thoughts were actually fighting against me. You understand? Yeah. So these are the things that bring us to the place of ingratitude. We must speak this enough for people to understand that ingratitude is a thing. Okay? It's a thing. So the things you hear and the convictions that you carry around.
Sometimes it's not just about the things people hear. It's about their success record. For example, they forget the good things, they forget the best part of them.
Excellent. I like the fact that
achieved.
I like the fact that you mentioned that.
Wrong things happening around them.
Yes, I like the fact that
negative things, and then they go, I don't know. I don't feel too well today. Hopefully this year I've not been feeling too nice. I started a business, it's not going well. My job, my boss is stressing me. And they find this thing and attach a very strong negative energy.
It boils down to the things you hear.
It starts creating an avenue of not being gratitude.
It boils down to the things you hear.
Exactly.
It boils down to the things you hear.
Yeah.
So what you hear forms your thoughts. They form your opinion and they form your conviction. And your conviction breeds your actions.
Okay. I'll say, don't mind me, I'm more of the Bible, more of the scriptures. You know, there's always this word that says, in all things, give thanks. And all things work together for good. Now, if you understand these scriptures, even when things ain't working rightly, when things look so tough, and you remember that scripture that says, all things work together for good, that should tell you that there's the God, a supreme being, that's out there orchestrating, making sure that everything you think you're going through works out for good.
Exactly.
And if you have that mentality, Mr. Ferdinand said, what you hear, what you take in you is what you will dish out.
Exactly.
Okay. So for me, when I'm in situation I feel not really going well, first and foremost, I remember I serve a God and I believe in him. He will not forsake me. He will not leave me, no matter how bad that situation is. There's a belief system. There's a conviction in me that will always tell me at the 11th hour, I'm out of this thing. Even if I'm not, it is still for my good. And you know, this tells you about people who feel, okay, this year they lost somebody, this year they lost a job. Have they even asked themselves questions that, like, okay, for example, you lost a job. Have you asked yourself, if really all things work together for good, do you know if that job you lost is for something better in the future? Have you asked yourself?
Yeah.
Sometimes we feel, no, God is
It might just be a redirection.
a redirection.
Yeah, I want to say this. I know personally there are times, or there were times that I had very terrible experiences. And I'll go to my closet and say to God, God, in all this, I am still grateful. Like, I'm assuring God that, look, I am still the same person, and I am not changing my mind about what you're doing, because I know at the end of it, there's something about this that I don't know yet. So, later on, I may see the reasons why that event actually happened. What do I say then? I say, God, you don't make mistakes.
Yes.
You don't make mistakes like me,
That's the key
like
word.
a human, like me and someone else out there. Because I didn't know what you were trying to do, but I see it now. So even though things don't work right, please, let's not keep gratitude out of it. Mr. Ferdinand, give us your final word.
My final words will be the 3 stages of gratitude. There's the personal gratitude. So I receive something and then I come up to you and I say thank you. There is the transcendent gratitude, gratitude to the Almighty. And my final words will be, like I said at the beginning, there are no random acts of kindness. God uses men to perform miracles in the lives of men. So interpersonal gratitude is very important. We must learn as humans to appreciate those that God have placed in our lives, those that God has used at certain times and stages in our lives to cause certain miracles to happen or to cause certain shifts that we must have prayed for.
Oh, yeah.
And we must learn not to be ungratefully grateful.
Hmm.
Those times when we say, oh, it's all God, you must learn to call the names of the people that mentioned your name in sensitive quarters.
Yes.
Those that gave you that opportunity, those who helped you when you needed it the most.
So you must learn not to forget that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ferdinand. I feel the show should continue, but we're behind time, so let's move on. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ferdinand. I'm really enjoying the show. I wished it doesn't end. I started by a song, Count Your Blessings, name them one by one. And when I say blessings, I don't mean just the good parts. Even those ugly parts, they were thanking God. But there are people who have not even gone into that stage in life yet. And so you've gone to that stage. It was thanking God for even bringing you into that and taking you out and even giving you a good life, And the other part, Mr. Ferdinand was talking about the 3 stages, the 3 stages of Thanksgiving, which first and foremost we do more is thanking God. This is the festive period. This is end of the year, and a lot of us really want to. In fact, in the US, all over in Nigeria, churches and all that, it's a period of Thanksgiving. I want you to say, thank God, thank this God, thank your chi. There's this thing that people will say, your chi means your God. So dish out that gratitude, no matter how little it is. You are far better than someone out there who you think when you see them thanking their God, you're like, what does this person have? But for the person to thank God means you can do much more. So when you are thanking your God, thank your God very well. When you are thanking men, because Mr. Ferdinand said something about the second. The second is thanking man. That man that helped you in one way, even if it's 5 naira, if it is a job, a new thing, an inspiration you got from that person. It could be your pastor, it could be your mentor, it could be your colleague. It was saying thank you. Thank you. With your word, go send it by text message. You could call and say, I just want to thank you for what you've been to me this year. You've been an inspiration to me. Then lastly, sometimes if you're buoyant enough, there are beautiful gifts to give. It may not be something big. It's just that little tie, a slippers, a shirt,
Yeah.
a book.
Yeah.
just use that as a way to say thank you to somebody. And lastly, let's say sometimes we are grateful to God alone, grateful to some people, but we forget that we have a family. We forget we have a family. Our parents are there. Please, you may say my dad has it all, my uncle has it all, my guardian has it all. I encourage you. Give it out. Give them something. Thank them. This is Christmas. This is Christmas. It's the time for celebration. So I urge, just go back. You may say, I don't have enough money. My salary is not enough. Yeah. But I bet you out of the 1,000 and a recharge card can go as far as saying, Daddy, thank you.
Very huge.
Mommy, thank you. So I encourage us. And lastly, while you're giving your parents, your friend, and all that, please don't forget to take yourself out and enjoy yourself. Be happy with yourself and say, this year has been good. Celebrate yourself and prepare for 2026 with a banger. Tell yourself, Father Lord, at the end of 2026, I'm coming back to give you more praise. And with this, I assure you, your 2026 will be far bigger than 2025. Thank you so very much.
Remember, we are talking about gratitude, and it is the key word for this year, and it's a key word for life. Be grateful for everything, except you don't have a God. But I am sure everybody knows this God. And here we are in the studio. We're trying to wrap it. And yes, if you're not following us, make sure you do. On Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and follow us live. We're always here in the studio. You can be our guest. You can be part of this team. You can build someone out there. And remember, this is still the Mr. Save podcast show. Thank you for watching and join us anytime. We love you out there.